Om Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim. Christine. Om Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim. Dvandvatitam Gaganasadarsham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum. I bow down to the Supreme Being in the form of my teacher. That's all it means. Somebody said there is no walk in the morning. Naresh said there is no walk in the morning. You can walk in the morning. I may not be there. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you shouldn't walk in the morning. It's a good exercise. But I may not join for the walk. We'll see. Day after tomorrow, we'll work that out. So, in this session, which we are going, that sounds better, which we are going to have today, it's just an orientation. Hi, Peter. I deliberately chose a subject for this retreat, which is the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which deals with meditation. You know, why? Because I wanted a standardized understanding of what better standards than the Gita. Right, because if I say this is what meditation is, you'll say, but this is your own, some newfangled theory. I want you to know what the Gita says about meditation. Okay? Also what I say. But, when you have a textbook which has been known for 1,000 years, it's kind of more, the appeal is better. So I'm going to use the Gita. Well, we won't go, I'll try to go sloka by sloka, but I love it. But the problem is that we may not have enough time, so I'll pick up the most important and then we'll do it. You can go home and read the others and figure out for yourself if this is the most important. Yeah. And those who have come to our retreats before know that I don't dictate people to do anything. It's up to them. I just let you think and figure out for yourself, because what comes from you will be yours, and what comes from me will be mine, second hand. So this is what we will do. So tomorrow we will start with the 6th chapter of the Gita. The title of this chapter itself is Dhyana Yoga, or Yoga of Meditation. We won't stick to the text, we will have to elaborate a bit and go on. Plus practical methods of meditation. As you all know, the Gita is one of the most important textbooks in the study of Vedanta. In the traditional study of Vedanta, there are 3 important textbooks. One, of course, is not one textbook, but many, which is the Upanishads. And then there is the great text called the Brahma Sutra of Vyasa. Vyasa means a compiler, actually, one who compiles. Can you stop meditating when we are talking and meditate later? Because I see your eyes roll up and the brain has to roll down a bit. So, in the traditional textbooks of Vedanta, starting with the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, and the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is somewhere in the middle, because the Brahma Sutra is too complicated to understand. Can you understand a text which starts with saying, oh, here begins the study of the Brahman? Atato Brahma Jijnasa. I mean, it's maybe for some people, but most people would say, why Brahma Jijnasa? I don't want any Brahma Jijnasa. It's over. So, you start with the Gita, because the Gita is very, very simple. And it goes from step by step and leads you on. And it actually occurs in the Mahabharata, in the Bhishma Parva, in the chapter on Bhishma's teachings. And several acharyas have written commentaries on it. It forms the middle part of the Prasthanatraya, the three important curriculums for the Prasthana. From Shankara onwards, Ramanuja, Madhva, Nimbarka, Vallabha, hundreds of acharyas have written commentaries on the Gita, which simply goes to prove that it's so important to study. Because the commentaries might differ according to the approach adapted. Madhva is a dualist, Shankara is an Advaitin, and Ramanuja is in between, generally. So the commentaries may differ in some ways, but the basic cannot change. The base cannot change. So this is the Gita. And the Vyasa himself says that the Gita is like a essence of the Upanishads. In fact, he compares the Upanishads to cows, and Arjuna to the calf, and Krishna to the one who milks the cow, and the milk that comes out as the nectar of wisdom, of immortality. In the Dhyana Sloka of the Gita, Vyasa himself says, Sarvo Upanishato Gao, all the cow Upanishads, suppose all the Upanishads are cows. Please don't think the Upanishads are cows. Nowadays, cow has become very sensitive. So, suppose you think all the Upanishads are cows, and Arjuna is the calf. You know, when the calf hits its head on the udder of the cow, the milk comes, flows. Arjuna is the calf. Krishna is the one who milks the cow. Sarvo Upanishato. Dugdha Gopala Nandanan. Krishna is the one who milks the cow. Partho Vatsa, Partha, Arjuna is the calf. Sudhir Bhokta, it's that which the wise enjoy. Dugdham Gita Amritam, that immortal milk of the Bhagavad Gita, nectar of the Gita. Now it has 18 chapters, starting with the first chapter, and you should remember that each chapter is called a yoga. So it's probably the first textbook that discussed the fact that there are many approaches to the goal. Because each chapter, 18 chapters, each chapter is a yoga. Starting with the first chapter called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's sorrow or dissatisfaction or insecurity. They're kind of related. Because it's a Sanskrit word, Vishada, it need not be defined only as sorrow. It means many things, dissatisfaction, insecurity, everything put together. So therefore, we feel that it's meant for most all of us. Because there are different stages in life where we have sorrow, we are dissatisfied, we are insecure. Why do people take to religion usually? Because of insecurity and fear. What will happen? So, the first chapter therefore is meant for all, most people, unless there are liberated yogis who don't need it, but most people who are in that state, like most of us. I would like to think that I have also gone through that and come out of it. Not as if I fell from heaven upon the place beneath. So we are going to we are not going to the beginning of the chapter, we are going to the 6th chapter, which is the Yoga of Meditation. So after the first chapter, which is Arjuna's sorrow, it's only when there is a little bit of sorrow that human beings turn to the divine. If everything is hunky-dory, nobody usually turns. You might light an agarbatti and carry on with your life. That's about it. But when there is sorrow and pain, then we start shouting. The Guru Granth Sahib has a beautiful statement. It says, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. When you are happy, generally we don't. I mean, we might build temples if we have enough money, but really, seriously, that is for a rainy day. In case something happens, I can say, I built a temple, please save me. So, therefore, it's quite in order that the first chapter is Arjuna's sorrow. Right? And then it comes to Sankhya, then Karma Yoga, and so on. And then finally comes to Dhyana Yoga. Now, so tomorrow what we are going to do is to look into what Krishna has to say on the subject. And then we'll explore other things. What has he to say on Dhyana? What is Dhyana? Is it standing on one's head, or, you know what I mean? There are many brands of Dhyana around, so we need to look at what Krishna thinks is Dhyana in the Gita. Then it must be pretty old and ancient. Right? So this is what we are going to look at tomorrow. And I know that many of you might be expecting to get Kriya Yoga. Unfortunately, we give Kriya only during the retreats. I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately. So, yes, since I think you're invested on that idea, we will also discuss Kriya. And those who have already taken Kriya, they can sit through this, because I'm talking about many people who have already taken the Kriya and vigorously don't practice it. So now, the message for all the new Kriya Yoga students is that please don't imitate them. Be on your own, and please practice regularly, because it is the practice that is most important. And of course, there are some ground rules to be followed. We'll discuss that when you do the Dhyana Yoga. So what, as I'm proposing, is from the morning we will have the Gita and go into it on Dhyana Yoga. And then by noon or by evening, we will have a theoretical discussion on Kriya Yoga. By then, I hope to prove that Kriya Yoga has been in some way described in Dhyana Yoga, but not in detail. And then by evening, we will discuss the theory of and practice of Kriya Yoga, what it means, and so on. Is that the only way, or are there different ways? All this we'll discuss. I personally don't believe Kriya is the only way. There may be many ways to it. So we will look into all that, and what ground rules are we to follow to practice Kriya. And then before dinner time, because you can't practice Kriya after dinner. So before Kriya dinner time, around this time I think, or a little early, I don't know what the... So we will actually start so please give me the chart, only for tomorrow. We will, because I can't remember if it is day after. So we will work on the practicals. of what is Kriya, how to go about it. Then in the next day, we have how many days more? Sunday. So Sunday in the morning, we will sit down and practice Kriya properly with me. Because if you don't practice, at least I have to practice. So we'll sit down, practice regularly. And then in between we will break a little bit. I will stop talking so that you can have some questions and doubts cleared, and then we'll proceed slowly. And in the end, after practicing Kriya, those who have taken Kriya, please listen carefully if you have missed something, and it will be like a review for you. And then that's it. Then I'll say bye. But the important thing to note is that go home and practice. And Kriya is not theory, it's practice. So this is what I want to do. Okay? Yes or no? So now, after what I said just now, do you have any questions on this? Please, some of the questions may get answered tomorrow, but still, is there something you would like to ask me now? Before I run away from here. I promise that I will be very serious, don't worry about it. You have to be serious, that's your problem. Yeah, don't hesitate.
So if you're already doing some Kriya, can I combine it?
Yes. Now that question is I'm going to discuss it tomorrow morning, because in the Yoga Shastras, there are bound to be many Kriyas. Cannot be just one Kriya. So when I say Kriya, it means that particular Kriya, what Kriya is we'll discuss tomorrow. That particular Kriya which has come down to me from a certain lineage. This is when I say Kriya, that's what I mean. But I'm sure there may be many other Kriyas. The only problem is, I don't want you to get too mixed up. If you're happy with your Kriya, do it. But if you want to do Kriya Yoga, which is from our parampara, you can do it. So you'll have to decide on that. But the main thing is, it's good to eat rice or roti or dal. Khichdi is not a good idea. You know what khichdi is? It's a mixture of dal and roti and everything goated together. Goated is...
Eat dal first and then roti.
That depends on what kind of dal you're eating. And who has taught you to make it. That's also very important. Anyway, we'll discuss tomorrow. And then you can decide on your own. And you're free to ask me questions, don't worry about it. But not that there are some people who only ask questions, so don't be that. But
I was just wondering, sometimes when I'm practicing the Kriya, I'm not able to finish it and I just feel like meditating halfway. So do we have to finish the whole thing, or do we just begin and then if we are absorbed in meditation?
Listen, it's like this. Kriya is done basically to clean up your channels and to activate your centers. Now, if you do Kriya for a long time, then you will be able to meditate better. However, while doing Kriya, if you think you are going into meditation, one thing you have to be alert. It could be the mind becoming lazy, not wanting to do Kriya. So it might, I'm already reached Brahman, so what is it? So I want you to wake up and do, and then at the end of it, at least a few rounds, and then meditate. That will be much better. Because the mind is very tricky, After a couple of times, he'll say, actually he's very tired and lazy, so he'll say, I'm meditating, I'm in a beautiful space, so why should I go back to breathing and all this rubbish? So go back and finish it and then do it. Always better. Well, when you become a Paramahamsa, it's all right, but till then... Then you don't need to do Kriya, you don't need to meditate, you need to do nothing. You have understood everything. So till then, we need to work. On this subject, let me tell you one more thing. At this point of my life, I don't need to meditate. But I enjoy it, so I sit down every day and meditate. I don't need to do Kriya. But I do Kriya because I enjoy doing Kriya. So you have to also watch why you are not enjoying it. There must be something there. We'll discuss it tomorrow.
My question relates to the point you just made. So, for the past year and a half, I've been, since I took initiation, I've been practicing Kriya regularly. But I wouldn't say with a lot of devotion, interest or enjoyment. It's more like brushing my teeth. I know, don't get up in the morning to really feel excited about it, but I do it.
Okay.
So sometimes I feel guilty about it. So I don't know. I mean, it's a question or it's a fact or a statement. Just want to.
Okay. Let me ask you. When you started, was it enjoyable?
Yes.
Yes. So it's become stale. So you need to brush it up now. It's also because we are surrounded by people who don't practice, who don't have any spiritual interest. So naturally it intrudes into our brain also. So we have, no, it's okay. No. I just kept it here like a decoration. But if it rolls off, I don't like it. So I don't need this is also not required. In fact, I think most of the diseases of the backbone are because we have forgotten how to sit without a support for the back. One can sit straight from the beginning. Very little problem because the muscles become weak, and the more costlier the sofa, the more you sink in. And then you end up in your 50 years old back because the bones have become loose. I don't know what they've become. Correct me if there are orthopedists here, but
My question
so we'll work on it.
My question is, what is meant by initiation? Why is it necessary for a guru to initiate a person? Because I know nothing about Kriya Yoga. I know about yoga, but I do not know about Kriya Yoga.
Yeah.
I want to know what is Kriya Yoga and
That we'll do
one be
tomorrow.
initiated. What is initiation, basically?
Yeah. So Kriya Yoga, what is Kriya Yoga? We'll discuss tomorrow because we need to do Kriya. But why initiation is necessary? Personally, I am of the opinion that no initiation is necessary. I am especially worried about dark room initiations. When the guru is alone and you are called into a dark room, especially if you are a lady, nowadays you have to be very careful. Because initiation may end up as something else. So, I think initiation simply means to initiate the process. Rather than some whispering in the darkness in the ear, that's not initiation. That anybody can do. I darken my room and I whisper something into your ear. Is that initiation?
We often read in a book to say only a guru can initiate a person.
That means guru means a person who knows his subject. Therefore, he only can initiate the process. That's what it actually means. It is not a ritual. You know what I mean? And nowadays, the rituals are also dangerous nowadays. You know it. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I get so many emails and so many people come to me and complain. We went there, it was dark, then what? Then we didn't think this will happen, we had to run away. So please, initiation simply means to initiate the process, to start you on the path. That is initiation. There is no separate initiation required. Of course, traditionally there have been ceremonies in which people are initiated. But it is rarely happens one-on-one. It happens in a group, which is okay. Yeah, because there is nothing to fear. What initiation actually means, first is to initiate the movement or initiate the process. Second, to initiate the movement of a certain energy. And you don't have to have elaborate rituals for that. There are some people who are accustomed to rituals. For them it is okay, but for others it is not required. Basically, initiation also means sowing the seed. Now, the sowing of the seed, the result of sowing the seed will be evident depending on the soil, how you look after the seed once it is sowed, and an occasional review on how it's coming up, and proper watering of the seed. But depending on the soil, the seed will grow in different rates. It won't grow in the same rate in all people. Somebody it might grow fast, somebody it might go slow. So the process of dropping that seed, that sowing of the seed, is also called initiation. That's what it means. Like people ask, will you initiate into Kriya? I mean, what we are going to do is actually initiating into Kriya. But instead of a ritual, what I am doing is a practical initiation. There are also ritualistic initiations. We don't follow that. That's it. I'm not blaming anybody, but this is not my way. Maheswarnath Babaji initiated me into Kriya. It was not a kind of a hocus pocus thing. It was plain initiation. So I'm doing the same thing.
My question is very similar to his. I was thinking and he was talking about it.
He?
Yeah. So I
She or he?
He.
He.
I practice twice a day for several months now.
What?
Kriya.
Which Kriya?
It's lineage. I mean, I've been told it's the same. Himalayan Master Babaji.
But who gave you this?
Who gave it to me? There is, group of people.
Group of people?
Yeah.
How can you give Kriya? How can group
No,
of...
it's not. Okay. Do you know Davis Roy? He's last living disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda.
Who?
Paramahansa Yogananda.
No, who? What's his name?
Davis Roy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, it's just Hamsa and Khechari and
Okay.
all of that. So I've been doing it maybe a couple of hours, subh sham, and there was, yes, I mean, those things aside, the vibration, all that aside, but there was this feeling, the seeking, that you're leading towards what the inside itch is. And like the word you use, stale, is that, so past a month or so, I've been feeling like, I think, and then also, I heard what you said, it's the people around you. So I have
Partly, yes.
Huh?
Partly, yes.
Isolated myself from, rest of the world. So what is it that's making it stale? Is it the thoughts? Thoughts were always there. I mean, what is it that suddenly made it like a slow, I mean, that
There are many reasons. Let me explain. I know you are sincere about this, so you're asking me, so let me explain. One is that there are phases in one's spiritual practice. It could be Kriya or it could be any other practice, where sometimes it goes down. Now, those who succeed are those who hold on to it and then allow it to come up again. In fact, in your spiritual life, there may be many such ups and downs. But when you are down, you shouldn't give up. You should hold on, stale or not stale, till it comes back again. When it comes back again, you will find that it is better than it was before.
I agree.
Okay. Now for this, you need somebody to personally encourage you. What happens is groups are there, books are there, correspondence courses, everything is there. But you need somebody actually, even if it is not for all your life holding your hand and walking, that's not, I want everybody to be independent. However, it's stand on your own feet. However, we need a person who has gone through it and touched something to be face to face with you so that it's revived again. I can see the seed is very much there, but for some time the soil and the water and the environment has not been happening. So that's the problem. But it will come up.
That is the another thing I was going to say. It's unfortunate where we live in US, there is no such ashram. That the environment is always inspiring. The environment
Yeah,
is
the
always
environment
about,
is beautiful, but here in many places I find that there is lots of trees, a lot of greenery,
No, what I mean is,
beautiful rivers.
yeah, you know
and
what I'm talking about, you know.
and
It's
for
all
years
about-
Swachhata is going on
Yeah,
here.
it's all media, it's all making money. I mean, the world is very.
I know, I
how
understand.
do you even survive in this world? Try to be on the other
Listen,
world.
how do you survive in India? What's happening there? Do you think everybody is
Grass
meditating?
is greener on the other side, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you ask an average Indian citizen, do you want to be spiritual? I want to make money. So where are we looking? From this, you're right. From here, that side, the grass is green. From there, this might appear green. But I see that this is quite. Once I was talking to an unknown yogi, and he told me, so are you going to the United States nowadays? I said, yes, Maharaj. Yes, lots of good souls are being born in the US, he said. I was quite shocked. Are being born in the US, he said. I said, what about India? He said, no, I'm not talking about that, but there are. So I said, okay. So maybe you'll do something about that. I said, I don't know, I'll try my best. So don't worry about that. You're here, it's a good place, stay. And
No, you also said that there is, and which is exactly what my soul craves for, is somebody, a guru, to hold you accountable.
now wait a minute. What did I tell you in the beginning? I don't want you to hold on to me. Huh?
No. I mean, you did say that independence, and I agree to. I mean, you have to be complete. You know, you have
Yeah,
to find. You
yeah.
should know the divineness within you. And
Correct.
But जब तुम छोटे होते हो, right? And you're just crawling. A parent is first helping you.
Okay,
to walk,
fine.
Right?
So wait a minute. So but then I come once in a year to the United States. Maybe there are others. So because I come once in a year, so how long am I here? In fact, I'm seriously planning to stay on for 6 months. Not here, but in the United States somewhere.
Really?
Yes, because I find this complaint everywhere.
We need an ashram kind of environment. In fact, they're true seekers.
I know. I get this complaint wherever I go, saying, why are you coming here and then running away? What's the point? You hang on, you spend some time. So I said, I can't tell. What about people in India? I know, I'm a married man also. But
कहते हैं ना दूर रहो तो शादी सक्सेसफुल रहती है.
कभी कभी डाइवोर्स पिटिशन भी आ जाता है. तो क्या है कि I think your wishes are kind of going to come true because we are already in the process of acquiring a nice forest kind of area. But it's not here, it's closer to Dallas, but it's in the United States. And so when this comes through, maybe next week it's going to come through, hopefully. And if this comes, then it's a large area. There's a river at the edge, and a lot of lot of trees. So I won't call it the sacred grove. And we are working on that. So once it is ready, maybe in a year's time, I would probably spend more time there, and people can come there, stay there, learn. When the seed is planted, probably I can also watch if people are watering it. You know what I mean? Or don't want to see me, you can go for walks. So we're trying to work something out. Because I hear this everywhere I go. People say, but there's nobody here. I said, there are many ashrams here. There are many swamis. Why don't you go there? We are not talking about that. We were talking about. So this I've been hearing for 16 years. Finally, I thought, let's do something. Because I don't want to really live here. I have a small place in Madanapalli in India. I live there. Lots of people have to be looked after and so on. But the world is one place, no? You can't divide it into America, India, and so on. So this is what we are going to do. Okay? So you can come and see me sometime.
So now that we're on that subject, when are you coming to Latin America? Because
See, this is what happened.
sorry, but this
Here is a couple, very nice, sweet people, been asking me to come to Canada for 4 years. I've not been able to go. You know why? Because long ago, when I was very young with my master, he asked me, because I was reading about various things. He said, so do you want to have some kind of yogic powers by which you can do things, or you want to go directly up there? I don't want any yogic powers. I want to go directly there. I regret for it now. But perhaps I should have learned how to go to two places at the same time. I can't. So, where in Latin America are you talking about?
well, I come from Chile.
Chile?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I went to Chile once.
Yes, I know.
How do you know?
I looked it up. Google, you know.
My friend Federico, who is from Buenos Aires, he was with me when I went to Chile. He talks Spanish, so I took him along. In fact, he translated some of my books into Spanish. So we were staying with the Indian ambassador there. So we'll go again. Maybe Federico will come with me. So you come from Chile, but there are other parts of Mexico and all that which are there. But you know, look, last year, sorry I'm wasting my time. Last year I went to Australia after so many years of people saying, come to Australia. What's happened? Now it's become part of the itinerary. So now they're bothering me. Next March, Australia. I said, no, next year. So I need to. So I think if I spend more time in the US, maybe I can do all this. This is what is the thing on my head, because I'm already 69, I mean physically. Here I'm only 17, 18. So a few more years of work. So before I finish that, I need to do some, right? So now there's a, before we wind up, there's a byproduct to Kriya Yoga. Oh yeah, I'm coming. The byproduct to Kriya Yoga is that at least your mind stays young. What happened? Somebody fell down? No. And I thought the byproduct. So, at least your mind stays young. At least. Actually, your body also stays quite young. Jai Shri Ram. His name, not chanting. So, the body also doesn't get bad so easily if you really seriously practice Kriya Yoga. The spare parts are supplied inside directly, and the energy levels are. You know how much I've been traveling, you have no idea. But people ask me, are you tired? So I have to say, are you tired? Sorry. Jokes apart.
I got initiated last year.
You
I
did?
have been practicing.
Where did you get in? Here.
And I've been practicing Kriya.
Tell me your name.
Kriya. Kriya.
Priya. Yeah, okay.
And in the beginning, it was the most beautiful experience.
Yes.
I,
Same problem.
Started with the initial time that was set by you, and then it automatically got prolonged, and then from once a day it became twice a day. And then I found myself in this very bad vicious cycle that each time I would sit on the area to
Asset.
meditate, and I kept a standard space.
Okay.
Then my mind went into expectations.
Mm.
And then when I sat and that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, but I didn't know how to control
Right.
my mind. And every time I would get up, I would be, oh, I did something wrong today. It was not, those comparisons started coming up automatically. Then from twice a day, then it became once a day, because I'm like, I'm not doing something right, I'm not doing it properly. How do I stop? It's a game in my brain maybe, but how do I even have any control?
Okay, we'll discuss that tomorrow. We'll work on that. Now you have come here, right? So we have another Kriya review, right? So after that you'll go back to your original practice. But let me tell you, don't have any expectations. And don't try to imitate today's experiences tomorrow. Leave it alone. You do only for today. Don't think of tomorrow about what's going to happen. Anyway, we'll discuss. Once more you start Kriya, you'll go back and everything will be hunky-dory. But okay. Rest we'll do tomorrow. Yeah, sorry.
Namaskaram. I have a question which is kind of not totally related to the discussion that's going on, but sort of related as well.
So should we ask? Okay.
I am excited to be here. I am excited for tomorrow and day after. But I have a question that I want to ask if my mother would be here with me. She's been bedridden for 7 years. And it's been bothering me quite a lot because I want to help her, but I have no idea how to help her. So you talk about geographically being available, but what if somebody is physically not able to actually even get out of their bed? And how do you help? And if this is not the right time to answer, I'm okay with that. I just want to pose the question so that I would just not feel very happy.
Where is your mother?
She's in Chennai.
In Chennai?
Yes.
Okay. Again, when am I coming to Chennai next? Okay. Babaji, I'm talking about Maheswarnath Babaji, my personal guru. He said to me, if people cannot come to you, go to their door and knock. You know, I try to stick to it as much as I can. If she was here, I've remained some time, even before going away from me. I'm leaving in 3 days, back to, I'm going to Amsterdam and then to India. So I'm sorry I can't do it now. So if you can give your address and details in Chennai to our people who are in Chennai, I promise you I will go there and see her and talk to her. I'm telling you, it's my job. Otherwise I would be kicked out. And not only that, now that, what's her name?
Her name is Hema.
Yeah?
Hema.
Emma. And how old is she?
She's 68.
She's 1 year younger than me. So what's her problem?
Doctors have not been able to find out.
No, what has happened?
She suddenly felt that she couldn't walk about 8 years back.
She doesn't walk.
So I made the mistake of giving her a wheelchair when she came to the US. She stuck to it, and it was a slippery slope down the left. So now she broke her hip last year, and now it's becoming worse.
Okay. Next year, I don't know. Between this year and next, I will certainly go to Chennai, and I'll just give your contact in Chennai to Naresh or to Katyayani. Okay, Deepu, so many people, no more questions right now. So many people have asked about Kriya going stale and Kriya is becoming expectation. And tell me, for how many years have you been practicing Kriya now?
From 2000.
I have not coached him, okay?
From 2000.
2000. And has at any time it come down? I'm just asking. No, tell me honestly.
I've not missed it.
You have not missed it. Even when you are a little low, you have not missed
Still
it.
do it.
You have continued doing it. And what has happened if you continue doing it? It
I
has.
have highs and lows.
Yes.
So I make the most of the highs and I go through the lows too, hoping that I'll come to it.
Right. And because of that, you have been able to move smoothly, right? And do you do it under all circumstances? In the morning and in the evening? Okay. How many years you've been doing Kriya?
Last 17 years.
This is also possible. I just wanted to tell you. And very often I see his wife looking for him. Because evening that time, he's out, he's doing his Kriya. Nobody can call him. If somebody says, I'm going to kill you, he'll still sit there. In the morning, at that time, he's doing Kriya. If that much of attention is there, he surely will move forward. There's no question about that. Lows are there, highs are there. I have another friend sitting there. He also is doing, now only maybe for 4 years. But I think you keep it regularly, no? Devanik?
I do, sir.
Believe me, he is busier than me. I don't know how he takes leave because he is a cardiac man and he has to put catheters into the heart to see how it works. But he does his Kriya. So it's possible. All I'm trying to say is it's possible. You need to work on it. And Sriram, how long have you been doing Kriya? Good, good. At least I like honesty. Kriya also makes you honest. So we'll stop now and we'll meet again tomorrow. I know that doubts are still there, but it's okay. Doubts are always there. So we'll work on it. So what do you do?
I am a hospitalist.
What kind of hospital?
So I'm a physician who takes care of patients who are sick enough to be admitted. So I don't see outpatient. I just see patients when they're admitted in the hospital.
Okay. You're not a surgeon?
No.
No.
Medical doctor.
Mm-hmm. So you and Devanik will get along, right? Okay. Sometimes I wonder if my heart is to be checked. Are you coming for the first time?
Yes, I'm here for the first time.
Where do you live?
I live in Florida.
Where in Florida?
In Gainesville, which is about where the University of Florida is located. It's about 100 miles north of Orlando.
Okay, Orlando. Yeah, I go to Florida every year to West Palm Beach.
Yes. Actually, my friend Carmelita.
Who is this?
She's
Yeah, I know her. I know
yeah,
her.
she highly recommended.
She's a good friend.
She has met many saints all around the world. She told me that.
I know her. I know her. I don't want to praise her in front of her. Okay, thank you then. See you tomorrow. Please go for a walk if you like. No stricture on the walk. So please give me the program tomorrow morning when I should come and all that. Huh?
I'll give it to you tonight.
Okay. Thank you so much. And please be free. I'm like a good friend, okay? Don't get worked up.